We have intentionally stretched it a bit to show the world as an oval rather than as a sphere, so that we can see that there are many different powerful influences in our world, nations pulling against nations competitively, peoples and cultures and religions pulling against each other in different directions for different reasons, for-profit organizational dynamics occurring constantly. And we would suggest that the four corners of this diagram are useful vantage points for in understanding these dynamics and thus aligning, instead of having us all pull away from each other and out of alignment with each other and against each other and judgmentally from any positionality, that we can align, we can be empowered via alignment, via collaboration, via arrival at superordinate goals and values and intentions, and that by doing so, we don't expend vast amounts of energy and then have it all canceled out by somebody that we appear to be against or appears to be against us. We would suggest that putting all of these energies into building a new model rather than trying to change all the old models is a very functional approach and will bear good fruit. So in this diagram on the left top corner, personal micro goals and views and needs, and for safety or for personal benefit or envision necessary collective benefit can pull us out of true, so to speak. And we can become the orange dot we just saw in the previous graphic. Also, personal imagined views of WSS organizational strategy can justify personal tactics. That doesn't mean that we don't, as individuals, understand a lot about the strategy, the mission, and the vision. That said, if we imagine we understand all of it, then we may feel that it's appropriate for us as individuals to assert ourselves as if we are the organization, so to speak, and without recognizing the ripple effects that such assertions of personal power tend to generate across the collaborative fabric. On the top right, we've got what might be termed the hero's journey, ego process, that says, I have to be a hero, I have to redeem myself, or I have to accomplish the highest and best for the world. And there's a personal fulfillment in that. And that said, it can also operate as an unintentional obscuration. And on the bottom right, there can be narcissistic interpretive views and associated intentions and taproot feeding strategies that go unrealized by the consciousness and thus pull again away from center, away from strategy and mission and vision and collective intention. So we would suggest that it's the bottom middle question is usefully asked. What are you personally and egoically aligned with as we develop and evolve as an organization, and why? And what are the true implications of your personal dynamic of alignment? And what specific goals and intentions do you intend? And is your personal process of alignment, if you map it, if you understand it, and you have the right to it, by the way, we absolutely advocate your sovereign right to your personal process of aligning with anything you choose to align with. We're just asking in the WSS process, is your process of alignment one of soul murmuration and synchronization, which we see as crucial to get the optimal impact in the world of all our collective efforts and endeavors and positive, loving intentions and capacities. So we're hoping that globally, if we were to say this view in this diagram was the whole world, we would hope at some point, not just that us as an organization, our influence in the world, and or just the loving, kind, caring soul process of the rest of humanity that really is good, would work together in a balanced and equal way with a global service intention and that we see that effectation of that new model and its implementation in all dimensions of human life and social and political process and ecological and economic process to be a path that is sustainable, that is functional, because it's been built by everybody and they've learned from each other in very complete ways, how to work together, how to effect wholesome results together, and to generate a harmonious future for us and the ecosystem. Every understanding that's arrived at by any human being or any team or any organization or any nation or any people or culture, it is optimally arrived at joyfully, peacefully, without judgment, criticism, or trying to get anyone to conform to our point of view or our way of doing things, whatever that way of doing things is. So non-judgmental reflection, facilitation is helpful, and or recognizing these tendencies within our systems with the best of intentions, so to speak, and the desire to solve. How everybody here wants to help the world. I've no doubt whatsoever of that. Every person here has a conscious, loving soul and intention, and absolute co-creative, excellent capacity. And if we have any part of ourselves that feels that our unilateral point of view or decision-making strategy is somehow better than everyone else's, or is the only best way to operate from, or others just don't get it, or if they believed what I believe, then they'd be right and they'd all agree with me and everything would be okay. This is a natural, normal human dynamic. So we suggested optimally, just personal reflection, meditation, etc., is a good way to suss out any resonances with these views, and also to bring them out vocally. Because if we don't have those conversations, how do any discontinuities of alignment and concerted collaborative effort get worked out? Nothing that we've described here on this screen is wrong. Nobody operating from any of this would be wrong for doing so. They would be being human. They would be being normal. They would be operating in the way that they've been conditioned to operate throughout our whole lives, for the most part, many lifetimes, in fact. And that said, can these positionalities generate optimized conscious collaboration between recognized equals? And if we don't model that within our own organization, if we don't model that equality and that recognized capacity and honor and respect it in each other constantly, how do we present it to the world with enough clarity and precision and accuracy and nuance for people to say, "Wow, you mean we could have a conscious community? We could live in peace?" It's the lack of the presentation, the clear, unvarnished, unfiltered, and precisely dialed in understanding that's been missing in this world. There hasn't been a model that would work that's been presented that people could live from and trust and invest their heart and soul in enough to make it sustainably the way of life, to make peace in this world the way of life of all humanity.